And of course, there's always more to the story. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you an update on the New York City vaccine mandate. Now, I did a video recently about them ending this mandate because of money. They want to bring back business. They don't want to turn away a lot of cash in the city. So they're going to end this thing. It's not even about the science. It's about money. It's about cash. And that still rings true right now in this update, but we have more information. So the mandate will come to an end on March 7th. And this only applies to indoor dining, fitness, meaning gyms, and entertainment venues. So if you are a city employee, one of the 1,400 who were fired as a result of not having the vaccine, this does not apply to you. You're still pretty much in the same situation, unfortunately. However, this does go in line with what I was saying about them trying to get money back into the city. Entertainment venue. What's the entertainment venue that I mentioned last time? The Barclays Center. This is where the Brooklyn Nets basketball team play. This is where star player Kyrie Irving was barred from because he's unvaccinated. Now, is he going to come back to the court? Not quite. He can watch the game as a spectator, but he can't play in it. Now, before I go any further, let's roll this clip. In this clip, you'll see New York City Mayor Eric Adams talk about this whole situation, how it doesn't make any sense, but he's still going to do it. After we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what he said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Make it so Kyrie Irving can play it.
Listen, I want Kyrie on the court. I would do anything to get that ring. So badly I want it. But there's so much at stake here. And, I spoke with the owner of the team. We want to find a way to get Kyrie on the court, but this is a bigger issue. I can't have my city closed down again. And it would send the wrong message just to have an exception for one player when we're telling a countless number of New York City employees, if you don't follow the rules, you won't be able to be employed. That's not the right thing to do.
But the away teams have a considered advantage because they could have unvaccinated. They're allowed to play. That doesn't seem right.
Makes no sense. And I don't know who thought of putting such a ridiculous rule in place of away teams can come and play when our teams from New York. But these are the rules, and I have to follow the rules. If I don't, I'm going to open the door that is sending a wrong message to everyday employees.
Absolutely.
Businesses have their vaccine mandates. City employees have their vaccine mandates. I have to follow the rules. And trust me, I want Kyrie on the court. We are here right now opening our city because of vaccine mandates. We can't close down again. I can't have my city closed down again.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, there was a lot said there, but there also was a few things left out. First things first, as Eric Adams said, this makes no sense, okay? Everyone can go to Barclays Center, watch, and play the game except for the home team. Okay, Kyrie Irving can go there and watch the game, but he can't play in it. The away team can be like, you can have all unvaccinated players on the away team and don't matter. They can go play. The fans, you can be 10, 15,000 deep in Barclays Center. Nobody can be vaccinated. It's totally fine because there's no vax mandate for them, no vax mandate for the opposing team. But for the home team, you guys got to be vaxxed if you're playing. If you're not playing, you're just watching the game in the stands. You could be right there in courtside seats right next to your teammates. You could be right there, but if you go one seat over, you can't be right there because you might be able to get into the game. How does this make any sense? It doesn't at all. He acknowledged that, but he didn't really go into why this is happening. Understand this. As I said from the beginning, you already had 1,430 New York City employees, mostly in the healthcare sector, if I'm not mistaken. No, pardon me, in the education sector, Department of Education. Most of them, they're not going to be able to come back, or if they do come back, it'll be through a court process. The reason why he's not playing is because of them. Because understand, since the vax mandate has not been lifted for them, you can't have anybody that has a high profile that may work in New York City You can't have them work while others are not, because if he's allowed to work, then the response is going to be big lawsuits. It's going to be, okay, you want to let him play because he bringing in all the money, but I'm just a regular person working for education, working for the DMV or whatever, and I can't work. How is he different than me? So now you're dealing with a legal minefield. That's really what that is. It's not even about nothing else. Okay. They kind of want to balance it to where they're able to get money back. They're able to get foot traffic back, but they don't want to run into the legal problems that they would get by letting Kyrie Irving play. Okay. Now, maybe they're going to eventually let city employees back, but they just fired them. Like, the deadline for all city employees to become vaccinated was February 11th of this year, just a few days ago. We're not even in March yet. It's February 28th. So just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, you said they had to get fired, but now you're releasing the vax mandate for certain parts of the city. And then here's something else. He's talking about, oh, well, we don't want to shut down again. Well, tell me how having one guy in an arena of 20,000 people unvaccinated will require you to get shut down again. Tell me how that works. Okay, one guy who is unvaccinated with 20,000 others who may not be vaccinated, how is he the problem? What he's saying does not match up to what he's saying. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth. One side, he's saying we want to be safe and we want to be secure and we don't want to have the virus outbreak again. On the other side, he's saying that the vax mandate is going away, is not really a big deal for certain people in certain situations. The whole thing is ridiculous. Like, if anybody is still believing in the vax mandate and the mask mandate and they're believing in science, I mean, come on, please stop. I think that was a pretty good marketing campaign from the federalities talking about believe the science, when in reality, the science they believe in is political science. It's psychological science to brainwash you and then believe in the political pundits that go on television and tell you whatever. Okay, that's that science. Brainwashing science, hypnotizing science is not actual medical science at all, not in the least bit. Point blank, period. And the Omarion is not even that bad. So what are we even doing? What are we doing? Will Kyrie Irving be able to play again? I don't know at this point. Okay, the playoffs start in April 10th this year. So we're about to be in March. So you got about 5-6 weeks for the playoffs start. They might change something, but I don't think so, because Eric Adams is pretty clear. We don't want to send the wrong message. And the message is that he can play because he is a big celebrity, big star basketball player, getting 25 points a game. We need him. We're trying to get that championship. We're trying to get that money. But you, Miss Adams, working for Brooklyn PS 811, however they name their schools, you got to stay at the crib. You are different than he is. He's better than you. That's the optics that he doesn't want to actually put out there. The same way that the Biden administration are rescinding the mask mandate right before the State of the Union address. Okay, they just announced that, and the address is tomorrow, March 1st. Okay, so is that just coincidental timing, or is it because they want to have the optics prepared for that event? Because understand this, the whole world is going to be watching the State of the Union address because Ukraine's still going on. Taiwan is probably going to be next on the chopping block to be up for grabs. So if the whole world has moved on from the bug and we're still putting the mask on to go to the restaurant and then sit down and take it off and start eating and then walk out without the mask on at all, if we're still doing dumb stuff like that and the world sees that, we look even weaker than what we did after Afghanistan. So all of this stuff that's going on is smoke and mirrors. And ultimately, people just want to get back to making their money, doing the regular things. But the government and politicians say that we can't. This is why, as I close, this is why big government is never good, because they do stuff like this. They put all these rules, regulations out there. They tell you to follow it. Well, it don't make any sense. They'll tell you things like, hey, you know what? If you want to get into your car and drive off, rather than going straight to the driver's side, go from the rear, the back passenger side, around the back of the bumper, past the passenger side, over the hood, and then go back to the driver's side. Right? He's like, okay, why I gotta do all that? Why can't I just go straight to the door? Well, because government said so. That's why. That is the kind of nonsense we're dealing with right here with the US of A and our ridiculous bureaucratic government system. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this update, revelation from New York City? Yeah, we're going to rescind the vaccine mandate, but not for everybody. And the reason is because optics, because we don't want to look bad, because we don't want to get sued. It's not about science anymore. If anybody, I promise, if anybody says trust the science, I'm gonna flip my wig. Okay, I'm gonna completely just flip inside out because I'm tired of hearing that. People that talk about believe the science can't even spell science. Where the I and the E go before the C? Tell me that part, and then I'll listen to you. But before that, I'm not trying to hear a word. I promise I'm not. And these guys, Eric Adams, everybody, they're just doing things because they got to do it for political purposes and for legal purposes, not for your safety at all. And I hope people that are the masketeers, hopefully you guys receive my message. Please receive it because you got to understand what's going on. Like, don't just trust me. I place all my sources in the description box. You saw what he said right there in the videotape. I didn't make it up. I didn't doctor it. You can ask him yourself. Call him if you can and be like, hey, what's going on with the mandate? And see if he answers or whatever, and you'll get the response, not just from my perspective and my opinion. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.